So this is quite rust. Oh, what the? Hello and welcome to a new episode of Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. So we're gonna be today doing the body of this car and the suspension, and then after that, the next video will be about this thing, which has a nice little straight 6 engine. But let's just lift this one up first, because this is the one we're working on. Has 560 horsepower because I modified it, very much so. If we just take a look in the engine bay, you can definitely see I didn't go completely all out, but ew, yuck, rust. Wait, do I possibly have a radiator for that? Yes, I do. Now there's not much rust. The first thing we're going to do to fix up the body is move this over to lifter A, which is the welder. Now let's just check here. Let's take off all the parts, all the body parts, just so that we can get a good look at really how much body rust is there. And there's actually I thought there wasn't going to be too much because this was just a car in the barn, but I guess it has a lot more than I was expecting. You can see just the majority of how much rust there really just is. So much. Just going to take all of the glass out, and we're good now. So this is quite rust. Oh, what the? Wait a second. I'm going to try to recreate what happened there. Nope, that might be impossible to recreate. Okay. Wow. So let's look at it this way, and then we're going to show before and after. Oh, much better. We're also going to paint everything and get all that stuff done too. Right now, we're going to assemble the car. Assemble mode. Just, yeah, that's sort of weird. Put the license plate on. Anything else that needs to be assembled? Doesn't appear so. Although we do need to install that back on. Now let's just go get a new paint job. Paint shop. We're gonna paint this car. I'm thinking for a blue color. I know a lot. When I think of an old car like this, I think of blue. I don't know what it is, but it just seems like that's the kind of color that I would want in this sort of car. Blue. Yeah, that blue right there. Yeah, that blue. Perfect. Yeah, that blue, it's maybe a little too bright, but that blue makes me just think old car. Now it's time to do the suspension. So I'm gonna lift her up. Let's look here. So he has a rim retro 12. Those are dry rotted to hell. So I'm gonna go buy all the parts we need, and I'll be right back. And let's take off everything of the suspension. So we are going to be having to lift this car up and put it down quite a few times. And that's just a given when you're doing something like this. Especially with the suspension. Like the engine, you can get to a decent amount of stuff and only have to lift the engine up a few times. Whereas with this thing, there's a lot of things that are annoying about it. Such as the steering knuckles. Those are very annoying to get off, but it's fine. Front sway bar. So I did actually drive this. It drove, well, to say the least, terrible. The boat. Although driving it, it wasn't really that interesting. All it did was just drive. It didn't drive terribly, but when you went around the corner, it just leaned. So all really it did. It wasn't, I didn't put it in the video because it was just boring. There's really no reason to put it in the video. Even though you might be interested in it, it doesn't matter. My needs for shorter videos are better than your wants for stuff. Yep, that'll totally make them not want to see the car driving. Okay, now that I've done that, so totally no one wants to see this car driving. Okay, clicked on something, made it go to where I didn't want it to go. That seems pretty much how life is. You try to do something, but then when something tries to go in, it doesn't go where you want it to go. What else do we need to take off? Well, that we can take off right now. Nothing? Okay. Now let's move to the rear. No, I don't mean it that way. Shut up. Yeah, those brake drums are definitely very rusty. Drum brakes are much harder to work on. Well, in real life. Obviously, in the game, they're as simple as just taking a part off. But in real life, because they have so many more, like, things that on them, basically. They have wires or stuff. Well, kind of. Well, it's more of just a pulley thingy majigger that operates it. How a drum brake works, if you don't know, it squeezes around, so the insides of it, the pads, squeeze around this drum, which will slow down the car. Whereas if you take, for example, there we go. What needs to be taken off? Oh yeah, that does. Bottom suspension arm. Wait, yeah. That's what it's called. And move to the back. But before we do that, let's just take off the drive shaft. Need to do that. There's our beautiful purple Hellcat over there. Hellcats are so awesome. I dream car's a Hellcat. Yeah, I know for most people a dream car would be like, oh, a Ferrari or something. But no, Hellcat is better. And if you don't think so, you can just go and get out of here. For any people who find that to be insulting, it was a joke, okay? But honestly, I would rather have a Hellcat than I would a Ferrari. That might trigger a few people if I say that, which I just did. So a few people probably just got triggered. Ah, it's looking better already. Like this thing, you really don't see it with the car because the way that these wheels are, you really just can't see through them that well. And plus, with the brake drums and everything on, you're just not going to see the ugliness that is behind this. So you watch as you put a brake rotor on? Yeah, it's completely fine. Oh yeah, okay. What I'm going to do right now is a process which is going to be in a time lapse right now. And done. I think I might have had a few mini shock absorber suspension parts. I don't get why it's just in this color. Weird. Wait, these tires might be too low profile. Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. Should have got a slightly higher profile. But I've already put everything on, so too late now. I just feel that the reason why I went with white walls is because when I think of an old car, I think bias ply tires and white wall. That's just what I think of when I think of old car tires. And if you don't know, here's a description of what bias ply is. Basically not used today, usually. It didn't have much grip either. Old cars had no grip. That's why you could spin out the wheels if you had like maybe... So if you just had maybe 200 to 300 horsepower, like say 250 to 300, you could usually spin the tires of many old cars because of how crap the wheels were. And yes, this is... I know I'm not doing the correct way to put wheels on, which is using a cross pattern, but it's just a game. The zooming out is so slow. I wonder if my mic picked that up. Probably not, but that was weird. It was like something in the background. Weird. Do we have all the things on for these? Okay, yes. This still needs U-bolts. U-bolt. You are a bolt. Okay? You're a bolt. So how does that look? Well, they're extremely small wheels. I might have said the extremely small tires, which actually, yes, they are extremely small tires because I went for a tire size that was way too small. Even though they were normal, you know, the normal size for there. They probably had a thing of 60. So those are the number for them with their tire profile was 45. But I wonder if we just look at our inventory. Okay, inventory groups. Let's see. Yeah, look, they were a size 15 rims, and they were 75. Oh, and these wheels and tires are actually much thinner. So it's going to spin out even more now. Well, maybe because they're not dry rotted, maybe it'll have more traction, maybe. But I might have the same amount of traction because the other ones were dry rotted, but they were 205s, and these are 165s, which actually might be smaller than my grandma's minivan tires. I wonder what the 2010 Chrysler Town & Country used. I don't know. I think it has 15 or 16 inch rims on it. The minivan. It's the touring model. I think there were only 3 trims. There was like the base trim, and then the touring, which was mid trim, and then there was touring plus, which was high class. Basically, all that means is that it had a bunch of leather on the interior. and it had like some type of display instead of having knobs for changing the climate control. Which really, in a minivan, you don't want nice materials because it's a minivan. And there's going to be kids inside of it, because that's what minivans are made for. Honda got it right with their, even their, like, highest model minivan, which is the Honda Odyssey Elite, which is $49,000, has cloth seats. Because you don't want expensive leather getting, a spilled cream soda on it. I'll just leave it at that. Cream. We're also going to put that on there. Sway bar. Okay. Anything else that I need to put on? Nope. Completely fine. Well, at least I think so. It appears as if that is what is happening here. Yeah, those are way too big. I mean, too small. Let's also get the interior detailing thing, which is over here. And then move that to the lift array. And then let's detail the interior, which basically just repairs the interior. So now, let's just look at this interior. Looks a lot better. Now, I'm going to take it out and do a drive. So this thing's worth $60,000. Wow. Abandoned airport. And let's take that car. Okay, we're here. And as it starts off, it automatically decides to just bump around. Right? Even before we started to drive it around. Okay, so with everything new, this is a bit better than what it was. Although, it's even more slippery. Like, the wheels on this thing, oh god, they are small. So hopefully you liked this episode, and goodbye.